Alright, what's going on, everybody? So, I'm on my new Indian Scout 2025 Sports Scout, the limited plus tech version, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about why I chose this bike over the other options that I've looked into. So, some of the options that I looked into that I'm gonna say is gonna be the Yamaha Boat, which I had before. I looked into the Rebel 1100, the Indian Scout 60. Uh, let's see, and I looked a little bit into the Harley Davidson Street Bob, but the reason that I went for the Scout, so I test rode the Honda Rebel, and I liked the bike. It was a really nice bike, but I enjoy a very smooth power delivery, especially after owning the MT-09. That bike has a lot of power and it's very smooth. So I wanted something that was also going to feel smooth, and the Honda Rebel reminded me of the MT-07 that I had. And one of the main reasons that I sold the MT-07 was because the power delivery was jerky, right? I not a big fan. Like, it has a ton of low end torque, so at slow speeds you have a lot of torque. That bike rides a lot like a naked bike. It's a good thing in a way and a bad thing in a way, right? So I like how nimble it felt. It felt more nimble than this bike, but not by much, honestly. This bike is very easy to ride too. It's like very easy to throw around, very easy to ride. So that bike felt easier to ride than this bike, but not a big difference. Like just comparing, like the handling, that one handles a tiny bit easier, but I think I got a text message. Just checking on the dash here. So handling, yeah, that's one of the things. The So both bikes could handle well. I had a Yamaha Boat before. That bike handles well too, but it felt a little bit heavier than this bike. And it's interesting because they're around the same weight, but the weight on this bike here is more centered lower, so you don't feel the weight as much. And the Yamaha Boat, you could feel the weight. The other thing about the Yamaha Boat that made me not want to consider it anymore is because of one of the reasons that I sold it was because it only had 5 gears. So only having 5 gears on the freeway was not it was not fun, right? So it kind of felt like the bike was screaming the whole time. It's nice to have 6 gears for a smoother ride on the freeway. So that one was out, right? Would not buy that bike anymore just because of that. Some people are okay with that, but I felt like the rattling, like on the bars, was a bit too much. Could be that maybe I just didn't have the bike fully configured for myself. I basically just rode it around as I bought it, right, from the guy that I bought it from. I mean, overall, I thought that was a great bike. But another little issue on that bike is the air filter was on the right side, and it would keep hitting my knee the whole time. So that was a bit uncomfortable. So The reason I chose this over that is just for the comfort, the power, and over the Rebel. I felt like the Rebel it was pretty comfortable stock. It was kind of the same as this one, except that the reach to the handlebar on that one was a little bit easier, and you had mid controls instead of forward controls. But I prefer forward controls just because of my knees that are bad. But the reach on that one felt easier. The bike also felt very lightweight, easy to maneuver. So it was mainly because of the power delivery. Not because this one has more power or anything like that, just because the power delivery on this bike is a lot smoother than that one. So I test rode this bike just like around 4 blocks near the dealer, just to see how it went, right? How the bike rode. And right away I could tell, yeah, this is the bike, just because of the power delivery, just how smooth it is. I consider the Rebel, but also after riding this here, you can tell that this bike is a lot more premium, like just the way that it feels in general. It just feels like a premium motorcycle compared to the Rebel. The Rebel is a great bike. I mean, value for money, I think the Rebel is a great deal, right? If you're okay with not having the smoothest power delivery, not having the bike feel extremely premium, I feel like the Rebel is an excellent value for money, right? It's an amazing bike. You get a ton of power, plenty of power for the highway, plenty of power for the city, very nimble. It's an easy to ride. It's a good motorcycle. But when I rode this, I just preferred this, and I was like, yeah, this is better. The Scout 60, I looked into it, but it only has 5 gears too, so I was afraid that it was going to have the same issue that I had with the Yamaha Bolt, of not being able to handle freeway well. So a long time on the freeway. Because every now and then I want to do a couple hours on the freeway, just like long day rides with friends, right? Let's see what else. The Harley Davidson Street Bob. That bike seems like a really good option, but it's heavier than this bike. And I wanted something that would also still be nimble enough for me to use it as a daily commuter, but be able to take it on longer rides. So I felt like this was more suited for that. And it's also not air cooled. So coming from a sports bike, this is supposedly, at least I haven't reading the Street Bob, but this is what people say, that this bike feels more familiar to a sports bike because you can rev it out more. And I love that. I mean, this bike, like, you can literally like rev it out, and it just goes like 3rd gear there, and it's an amazing bike. I'm in love with this bike, honestly. So these are the main reasons. It's not that any of the other bikes were bad, just for the reasons that I needed a motorcycle. This was perfect. Like it suited, it basically fits everything that I need, right? It's comfortable, easy for me to reach the floor, which was kind of a big deal for me. I love being able to get to a stoplight now and then just put both of my feet down, not have to worry about choosing a side to put my leg on down on that side. This is huge, right? It's a big deal for me. I know some people are like, oh, you just get used to it, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, to some people it's not. To me it is. I like having this comfort. It's an extra comfort that you have when you're riding a motorcycle. It's very smooth, the suspension on this bike. The power delivery, I love that. So overall, I'm very happy with the bike, and these are the reasons. Not that the other bikes are bad. This one just suited me better for everything that I need. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.